Team Spirit. Chad, this is going to be weird. This is going to be odd. I don't think it's Vertigo. Of course, we did see the Veto's overpass and Vertigo removed. It's okay, one for the tally. But we can get into this one. 5 seconds on the clock. G2 Esports starting on the defensive side. Team Spirit on the attack.
And let's see why Team Spirit picked this map right here. Obviously, one that hasn't gone perfectly for them in recent times, but there's a reason they picked this against G2, and let's find out why. The bomb's been dropped, map control taken, an aggressive Ivy push here. Kenny toe-to-toe with Hunter, and they flash on out. Magix dips away. Those sound cues will be heard.
Okay, they actually want to contest, and it makes sense. It's 2-on-2. And a 1-on-1. Maybe some help for Magix if he needs it. Doesn't look like he's going to get any help, but it doesn't look like Hunter is having all too much fun with this one. They've even got the kit. They really want to contest Ivy here.
Yeah, trying to unravel Team Spirit early, making them, well, run into it and run into the B bomb site. They will. Pushing up Oil Train, taking space, using that information to their advantage. They've isolated Nexa. He is under fire, half HP now, and he's lost track of them. They've even made it into CT spawn. This is looking great for Spirit.
Nico's close. Chopper back up. Magic's looking to join the pack. It's Mir that can really ruin everything here. So Nico on the site, and he has nothing to report yet. This is such an odd...
Look at all the time it's burning.
They're playing it from the top, and this is the frag he needs. Nico, a chance. Trying to play off the ladder. Magic's to challenge first on that defuse. Hunter doesn't go down. Amanek now on the bomb. He has the kit. 3 seconds, 2, 1. Knocked off it now by Magix. They're running out of time, and it's clean. 4 kills for Magix starting off. Boris the Butcher is in attendance.
And you have to just see that from G2. I like the fact they went aggressive on their CT side pistol, dictate the pace. Hey, Spirit, you want to pick this map? We'll come at you. But they took the space perfectly. They knew there were 3 over towards Ivy. The rotation towards that inner bomb site was going to be miles away, and then just punish them with room. We took CT spawn. You can have the bomb site. That's fine. Get close to that bomb. We'll pick. We'll make your life an absolute nightmare. And that's the pistol round for Team Spirit. Now we're getting back underway with round number 2.
Okay, so these can get very, very spicy. These kind of rounds. That's an adorable cat. Much love to all of you tuning in from around the world to watch your favorite teams do battle. But these second round 4 spies, when I see a CZ and Armor, when I see 2 scouts on Train CT side, there is so much room for error.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to the calls from Chopper and Team Spirit's just mechanical execution. It does seem they're keeping it simple here.
And going towards B as well, so not getting tagged towards Ivy, towards main by these scouts. So as they execute into this site with the utility they have, if they can avoid the early damage, might be onto something.
One question mark, and that's Hunter.
Well, what about the triple man stack inside?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly going to cause some damage as the util flies in, but how quick will he fly up that ladder as this push is coming in? Chopper in, good nade, Magic swallows it, smoke on the ramp to segregate. Nico double dig, getting awkward now for Team Spirit. These are the difficulties we were talking about. Nexus even added a 3rd to the mix. SDY claws 1 back, but it's too little and too late. Just a Dexter Mac 10 and hunted down with a nice upgraded rifle. That's going to feel great for G2. They even recover 2 rifles into that one. A Galil for Hunter in the last second. And Spirit's 1 pistol is short-lived.
Yeah, and they denied the plant there as well, so fantastic stuff from G2 to bounce back immediately. Denying that plant, well, we won't see the guns coming through for the side of Team Spirit. It'll have to be another 4 spy. And it'll be on the lighter end, 1400 coming through as we get these highlights back on in. They tried to do the best they could, but pushing up that Deagle in the belly, 2 shots as you like, and Nico made it look beautiful. Now, we won't see anything too crazy coming out from Team Spirit. It's just going to be Deagles across the board, Kevlar, and a couple of flashbangs. So relying on their aim here, this might be a bit of a slower round. Wanting to take the jewels with the Deagle, see if you can find a couple of wandering heads of G2.
I mean, Spirit have constantly been expanding their talent pool from the CIS region. Anyone that turning heads has eventually ended up here, right? Like, I remember when Chopper was turning heads 3 years ago as he broke onto the scene. Dexter, of course, the most recent addition. SDY popping off in the pugs.
Yeah,
Mir from Gambit and blowing up.
And that's the thing, right? Before Gambit, he was pretty good. He went to Gambit, not so great.
Magix was like a Spirit find, though. That's like their own find.
They've got that little gem in the rough right there. But this team, right, we were excited about them before. Balance could have his moments, but now that they have somebody much more consistent of Dexter, we're even more excited because they have a power trio, Magix, Mir, and Dexter.
I mean, we looked through highlights. We saw, 3-man AK spray downs, P250 double kills. Let's not forget Disbalance had something like 65% kills with his AWP.
It was pretty ride or die with that weapon there, wasn't it?
Nice to see the flexibility, and I'm sure it does, echo through the entire team, including Chopper's calls. Your calls can be different when you don't have someone so dependent on a particular weapon. And speaking of, it is only Deagles for this one. In they go, in towards the A site, and first blood drawn. Nico and Amanek both finding connections. Ooh, warning shot puts Mir on notice and just lining him up, knocking him down. Just a lovely shooting gallery for Nico. Dexter, just a single bullet will take him down. It's going to be Hunter. He'll grab that one.
Always a bit of an issue if you let Nico get going early. He's already up to 7-1, and that's after 3 rounds played. So if he starts to get an early bag, he can run with that momentum, right? Such a good player. The confidence helps him with those fights, with the decisions he's going to be making throughout this game.
We've got 3 players on Spirit yet to frag as well, which I think is going to be a very crucial component. Not only Nico starting strong, but if Spirit starts slow, and especially with the amount of additional pressure on the line for a lot of these names, they're not particularly familiar with the Katowice main event.
I wonder if Team Spirit go into this game feeling like the favorites, right? We talked about the bookmakers having them as the favorites, but it's a difficult thing. This team is normally the underdog squad. Molly, nade follows. Lots of damage there.
Oh, it is quick, it is easy. Nexa grabs himself a lovely 4 kills. $1,200 injected into his bank account, and we go again.
All right, 3-1 the scoreline now. The AWP for Dexter. I don't know if that's going to be in purchasing range right now, so it will just be 5 AK-47s going forward. Utility a little bit average for Spirit as well. So let's see how they handle this type of a buy. G2, more of a bonus situation. Amanek's actually the one upgrading into an AWP. We won't be seeing that in the hands of Kenny S in the first gun round, so an interesting note going forward. The desk was talking about Kenny S's up and down performances of recent times. Molly to main. Just a bit of a default spread here. Spirit putting some pressure on Ivy. That's where Amanek with that AWP lies. Has to drop his smoke early, and they won't play in front of it. They'll respect it. So baiting out this utility to level the playing field is name of the game for Spirit early. You can take a look at the right-hand side of your screen. Their utility, it's already super light. We're operating with 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and a decoy. So right now, if someone pushes, they get a kill, that's great. Otherwise, wait at the utility, show your presence across the map, and then hope late when you burst on out, you can get some frags, but that's not the way to start the rounds. 4v5 now.
One of the most diverse players in a G2 jersey is Amanek. I know you had Nexa on HLTV confirmed. You had a lot of conversations about what Amanek brings to that roster in the freedom to wield any weapon he needs. And it seems like that utility could cost a life. Nico's holding sandwich, and that's his responsibility. He's certainly sharp. 7 kills to his name already, and he's pre-aiming Mir's walk. Does he really want to hunt it? You brave boy! Nico tries to transfer. Dexter does trade, a necessary one. He'll scoop up the bomb, and they'll try and pool their resources. With just 35 seconds left, their options seem limited. They're either walking into a 3-man stack or sprinting in towards Nexa's inner very, very late. Amanek does not miss. A second frag with the AWP, fills the feed, and with Dexter main, SDY pop, they're just going to have to hope to be given a way in. Whew.
Kenny from range with the Galil, absolutely smacked down here, and it's just SDY. 10 seconds left, is going to consider the save. So that's going to be the 4th round for G2. And look, obviously winning the pistol and then losing after, it makes you task for the T side here. He's actually getting hunted. This inner push. Is Nexa going to continue this?
I'm surprised they didn't send that MP9 up just for a fleeting charge, given the funds and the fact that Hunter didn't actually need to take it into the next. He scavenges an AK-47. We'll see how these opening frags came in. This was Amanek responsible for Ivy finding 2, and Nico did take a it was purely just, you know, his 6th sense as to when to push that timing.
Yeah, that Olaf position is one that you have to make sure you're clearing out on the CT side, especially if you want to try and stop being rotated on so heavily. Now, when you see these first few rounds come through, Dexter hasn't had an AWP, right? That's where openings will come through for Spirit. But also, it's Mir and Chopper. Chopper making aggressive plays as an in-game leader. And we always talk about Mir playing around the smokes, trying to find those timings, and then he can get multi-kills off of that. So those are the 3 individuals who you want to be looking for on the Team Spirit side when we're going into default rounds, finding picks, finding openings. But they probably have a bucket load of set strats up their sleeve, right? To find space. We always talk about the 5-lane, the E-box smoke. I want to see what approach that Spirit go with, because Nico as that sandwich player, one of the best in the world to do that. It's going to be a very tall task to be dealing with him out main time and time again. And speak of the devil, here he is, up close towards Pop Dog. Nade is a little bit deep. Let's see how much this AK can sing.
Is SDY safe? Ooh, not quite a perfectly calculated trajectory. And I don't think Nico is going to let that smoke go unsprayed. It does not confirm
still a gap.
it. Chopper's got a tiny gap. Hunter's the one to deal with that. That's the AK gone. SDY was looking for a punish. Oh, Nico's looking so damn dangerous.
At the barbershop today, the cousins handing out haircuts.
Unbelievable scenes.
Now, it is just the pistols, it is just the deagles, but the lack of frags from Spirit is a little bit worrying, right? You mentioned before that we had a couple of players yet to get off the starting blocks. It's going to stay that way for Chopper. Bit of resistance from Magix. Eventually he gets mopped on up and the AWP can be salvaged, so they're operating with the double op set up very early. Nico might have to go into an M4 here. Had to drop that AK to get the AWP for Amanek, but it's 5-1. This is going quite quickly.
Yeah, admittedly, the CT side train, but the fact that we haven't seen G2 fall beneath 4 players on any of these rounds, like they are building such a delightful bank. To have, what, 2 players closing in on max money, 6 rounds into this, it's going to come down to some individual brilliance now from Spirit to get themselves just straight back in the riding seat, you know, remind themselves what they're capable of. They're here for a reason, 5-game win streak from them. And one of the few teams to not drop a single map in pursuit of the main event from the play-ins.
Looks like they're just going for the B hit that they tried on the second round. They were shut down by Nico on that round. This time, it's Nexa tucked in towards the bomb train and inroads.
Oh dear, there's a molly as well.
Oh, that's a nightmare. Look at all that damage.
Chopper definitely going to be taking a trip to the salt mines. He's just decided to call it a nice, safe
Look at this call from G2 though, Alex. They've rotated 3 players towards B again. So there's a lot of tells here that G2 are picking up from. They've already got 3 players ready for this.
Something doesn't feel right for G2 on A. Gathered on B, 3 of them. And in comes the perfect flashbang. It does enable Magix to find the first and the second. This is big. 2 frags from Magix puts Kenny S on notice. He needs at least 1 here, but they're charging towards him on the right-hand side. He's got to be cautious of his right flank. Amanek joined them from CT spawn side, but with 5 still alive.
Double or retake, it's a tough one.
You kind of just want a Nico go kill.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to... Okay, they're looking around for some frags. Mia silences Kenny. Now the save call might be on.
Surely you want to be saving at least one of those AWPs. They got that double kill, and it's all they really needed in order to convert.
Well, the round didn't start well, and I was mentioning the names to be looking for entries. It was Magix, as Amanek will get 1 consolation frag. Will he get hunted, though? The pressure's there. Just gifting him a couple of frags here. 2 more on the docket.
Oh, they bait him nicely. He does lose the AWP, but all good in the Team Spirit hood. They'll have plenty of money for G2 as well.
All right, 5-2.
Despite all of that util damage, just getting down the ramp,
and
that flash.
The fact that they get into the bomb site like that against a stack, right? G2 did everything right. They made the right call. They whatever tell that they had to stack 3 players towards that bomb site, and then they still lose. So this execute, you can see just how good it is. That molly on top of the pop train there gets the player watching low ramp from behind it, has to push him more into the line of sight for the flashes. You can see the other flashes and smokes deeper in the site to allow them to take space. So a really good execute, but Magix is the hero there with those openings.
Oh, a missed incendiary gives Chopper room. And he could even punish it. They throw a second. He'll have to either get up or go forward. He opts for the former. The cousins have quite the crossfire in yard.
Yeah, it's quite the duo to have up close, locking down Pop and Main. Very, very difficult to get past the 2 of them.
Yeah, if you can't win your duel against Nico, maybe you can try against Hunter.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay, well the Augs up close. That's going to level the playing field a little bit. AK-47 Augs get nice and close and hopefully get the 1 bullet headshot in. So they're Molotoving that sandwich position. One we've seen Nico play a lot. He's dropped back on top of the green train. It's quite the passive setup now from G2 as time has passed. 50 seconds on the clock. They've played 2 back towards this B-bomb site. Hunter in tow with Nexa here. And the rotation will be the AWP through connector on Kenny.
So it's a different crossfire. If it's the same nades, perhaps this is G2's response, but this is going to be a real challenge. Nex's nade looks promising. I wonder what his Q is. Just waits for something to be thrown through. Here's the pins pull. Does manage to chop a little bit. Knocks his head off as well. Hunter's there for the swing. Gets another. Spirit getting ripped to shreds here. Magix and Dexter fill the feed, but at what cost? 15 points of health shared between the 2 of them. Bomb down. That's a great start for Magix, but my goodness. Nade. Yeah, one of them's going to get dunked, surely. Oh, Dexter's visible, but he actually hits the shot and he evades the nade. There's starting to be more and more of a chance for Dexter and Magix to do what looked impossible. A single bullet will finish him off. Dexter now looking the other way. Kenny, I think he caught a glimpse. He's got the idea as to where one of them's located. Oh, he hits everything. And that's going to be a Spirit round. What a turn. Just an ace between the two of them, Dexter and Magix.
With 15 HP combined. I'm baffled by that
Shot
whole
on Amanek,
situation.
like he was on top, he did the strafe, was on top of Bomb Train, I think, which was enough of an elevation to avoid the nade completely. Let's see it again from Dexter's POV. The first shot's already spectacular. Up on the Bomb Train.
Of course.
Pops Amanek, the second he spots him. This is some dynamic and impressive mechanics.
I can't imagine where that nade's landed to not do any damage to it all dropping off. What a stylish move right there. And the smile on the face says it all. A huge round, because we were talking about the bank of G2 starting to get out of control. Well, it's being kept very humble. And in a situation like that, where you play 2 players towards the B site, you set your team up in a scenario that should be a retake every day of the week, and then you lose to that. That's going to be frustration creeping in early for G2.
And that's going to be a colossal morale boost.
Think about how they're conditioning this B site as well. They've now conditioned them to have 2 players inside at least. We've seen them stack 3 players, just then there was 2 players. So that means now in these later rounds, Team Spirit, they can put pressure on B and then have lurky boys coming out Ivy, sneaking out main. There's going to be more space for them to work with as this game progresses for the T side. And it will just be the pistol upgrade. Hunter's gone into a Hero M4. Deagles, P250, a little bit of light utility as well. GG.bet odds at the top of your screen there, currently with G2 as the favorites, but very early stages in this one.
It seems to be flip-flopping with every round that passes.
Yeah, it's just so hard to really place G2. Obviously, they're together now. They're in Berlin. They know that their results haven't been as good as they would have hoped. Let's see, Nico's back in his copyrighted position, I think, by this point. Tucked into Sandwich with the Deagle. Pre-aiming for the boost, nobody home, clearing all off now. This is where timing really comes into play.
Truly. God, the tension. And in they go. Looking good in the feed so far. Chopper does transfer.
He's on the board now, that's his first
Finished
kill.
off the Hero AK as well. Or rather, M4A1. Spirit, sealing the deal. Keeping it competitive. This is what we were hoping to see. Of course, they did win the pistol, but now stringing together 3 to close that gap entirely.
Amanek's buying straight into these AWPs. It's one thing we've highlighted in the past with G2, especially on Mirage. Amanek is the secondary AWP over towards B, and it's been hit and miss. So it's not that I think that he, it's not that I think he's a bad AWPer by any means. As a secondary, he does a serviceable job. But if it's reliant on the team, especially when you have such sharp tools in your shed like Nico, like Hunter, might be a little bit troublesome. But Ivy's an annoying position to play. I don't blame him. But I don't blame him for that back of 6 by any means.
Yeah, I was watching his POV, just looking at the minimap. You just stand there and stare for 50 seconds.
Patience, it's a virtue. And now the double AWPs towards Ivy as Kenny and Amanek are both trained on that area of the map. Early utility, a little bit of a leg showing from Chopper. Highest rated player from the play-ins, mind you. So Chopper, he really gave it to Big the other day. Made through the windows, just a little bit of chip damage there. You can see SDY and Chopper down to pop, it seems. The totem drop comes in, and not one that hasn't been punished. So space being taken, utility being bled. G2 now with just over a minute left on the clock are only working with 2 Molotovs and a bunch of flashes. There's no defuse kit if we get into a post plant. And Nico's just taking space in main.
Okay, this is an important duel then. Nico adjusts perfectly into Mir. Oh, but Chopper with the trade, crucial. By faking the ladder climb, perhaps catching Nico off guard. Amanek passes his IV test. You can see how comfortable he is in the knowledge that it was only Magix.
Space.
And he's wrapping fast. I think he knows.
It's a big play here.
They like to leave the bomb near like the start of spawn brown halls, then pick it up late after the picks. Amanek has got all of that information to confirm it.
They can rotate another player B here with Amanek's information.
I'm surprised Kenny hasn't moved. Poor old Nex has got it all to do.
Playing retake on B as well, so this is going to be a 4-on-3 B retake.
Okay, Flash present. Dexter hunting. He seems to be hitting every shot he takes, but the flash and the frag, Hunter delivers. 4 members of G2 now swarming the site. SDY falls foul to Nexa. Chopper thrust into a 1 versus 4, and he's hitting every headshot he has been presented. Cuts it down.
How's the flank?
Halves it. Flank is on its way from Amanek, and eventually it will be G2's round. They got time for the defuse. Spirit make a lot out of a little there. Gets competitive. Good to see Chopper definitely sharpening up. 3 kills from him.
So they just opted, instead of going to have those 2 players tucked in so close to the site like we saw in earlier rounds, they went for more of the retake scenario on B, which meant, look, when they're going in for that, they're not losing the numbers earlier and they're able to retake as a team. That's another way to deal with it, getting Nico up close and personal towards main. helped out as well with that frag. So all in all...
Part of me wants to say as well, 'cause don't forget, I think it was Kenny that was coming in as well. That was 2 AWPs left in that retake. If Amanek didn't decide to go for that ridiculous 30-second Ivy flank, he was kind of right, Chopper, to be thinking they'd be coming both from that side, like not checking his flank. It was just due to Amanek's decision making. And so perhaps that decision brings the 6th home.
Okay, well, the bias should be fine for Team Spirit. They are taking their second timeout of this first half just to talk through their options. You can see plenty of cash left over for Chopper and SDY, so maybe just working out what execute they want to run with. A pace change could be good because they've been doing a lot of this slower stuff, more methodical across the map, taking these duels a little bit late. So a gear change at any point could come in handy. And as we take a look at the scores, you can see that Nico, 13 frags leading the charge. On the other side of things, Magix, he's got 10 to his name. And down the bottom for each team, Mia, he's only got 1 frag so far, 30 ADR, and Kenny.
Yeah, and I will say there's a correlation between the fact that Nico has 13 and Mia has 1. Yeah. They're both playing the same position on the alternate sides.
They're battling each other.
At the moment, yeah, Nico's winning his duel. Flash turns it, sticks around, wants to contest here on Pop. Chopper does have the Molotov that will force Nico back. No one there to try and punish his escape. So many different unique tricks to taking this part of the map, and they are going for the totem drop.
Oh, no pace change just yet, so more of the same from Spirit. Yeah, spreading out in more of a default formation, nobody pressuring Ivy this time round. They know that that AWP's there, so maybe just letting him park his bum. But G2 are the ones taking the round into their own hands. An aggressive play here from Nexa. He's out first. He does have support in Hunter, but maybe it'll be a bait and switch setup.
They hear them pop.
Oh, this flank could be perfectly timed.
This could be brutal. And quite a distant G2 hold outside of that. Kenny holding Pop and does take the Stunter! Okay, comes down the ladder, nearly skewed it. Now this gets awkward because you want to try and take the site. Magix is on bomb train. Nico responsible for the walk up and finds at least a 1-for-1. Oh, that's Magix popping off. 2 kills, he could find more. Good damage. Every single peak is punished when Magix is in the server. Nexus looking to guard the bomb. But Dexter is a beast. Well aware of what was possible. Takes him down. Nexa looks like a plum. Kenny and Hunter low. These boys, Magix and Dexter, they've pulled a clutch.
Are they going for this? They really need to move on.
As a partnership. Hunter's got the cross. Or has he? 5. He hasn't got time. 3. He's got just enough.
No way.
I can't believe it. Kenny into the clutch now, and Magix just has a round. This is all his. Take a bow, son. That's all yours. 5 for Team Spirit. And a magnificent play once again from Magix.
How Dexter is so calm when he's picking up the bomb, expecting another player, potentially Hunter, to be around there, and then he's running out to the bomb train with that limited amount of time, and they pull that one out of their ass. What a round. And check these highlights out from Magix, just peeking, firing, fragging. That's all he needed to do. This right here, probably a little bit understated, the most important kill of them all. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had the bomb. And with 4 seconds, the plant just starts going down. Finishes off Kenny through the cusp of the smoke, so ready for every little maneuver was Magix right there.
That is such, like that is almost, you know, map defining. Oh. The fact that Dexter's like just awareness of the center of his screen for his quick scopes, he's just so aware.
That is insane to pull that one off right there. And now G2, well, they're just down to these pistols. Oof, they might need to take a bit of a deep breath here. 6-5, likely to be 6-6, unless Team Spirit stumble over their own feet.
What a turnaround.
They've gone for a B stack, as we can see. Radar on the top left, 4 players over towards B. It's just Nico, a lone soldier, out towards Yard, having to deal and relay any information. And look, this one is very, very unlikely. But Team Spirit, they're not changing their tune. It's still quite passive. Obviously, this time a little bit more through Ivy. 3 players. Smoke's about to come on into the backtrack side. Molotov to hold them back, and here's Nico's chance. He might be able to grab one here.
Might being the operative word.
Yeah. Well, after that simple round where he retook 1-on-3 or whatever it was, and with the P250 against, was it Mad Lions? I think it was Mad Lions.
I think so.
I kind of think anything's possible now.
I remember Refresh was the guy that scuffed his shots.
Yeah, it was a rough round to lose.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you missed 2 shots. You missed plenty in a game.
In the smoke, hello.
Having a little cuddle. They both pull the trigger. SDY's gun's bigger.
It looks so funny, doesn't it? They're just touching and then dead.
Some players seem to be able to detect that. You know, when they like stop moving in a smoke, so it's hard. It can be hard to detect it. But I think if you're looking at the map, you can kind of work it out.
It shows how much these players play in the smokes as well. Because if it was, you know, an amateur or even just
Any of
like a
us.
semi-pro, you're getting stuck on clipping. It's like, oh yeah, it's probably just the wall. Half the time it's a player standing there hoping to take advantage of that fade. But this is clean from Spirit. If Dexter stays alive here, it'd be a nice way to finish off the round. Bomb's about to go off. How many more is he going to get? All right, well, they go down to the bomb. So kills for nobody.
Yeah, almost a benefit to G2 there.
Check out G2's money here, Alex. Kenny has actually dropped across a rifle to get the AWP. He's currently sitting at 6 kills, the lowest for his team. So the fact he's been gifted this AWP, he's going to need to try and find some impact for his squad. And G2, after they play aggressive, we've seen them play in pop, we've seen them play up close main, then they drop back. I'm wondering if they want to try and keep a little bit more aggression here. Round 13 getting underway. No defuse kits. Aminex opted for the AUG instead of the AWP. Didn't have enough to buy that.
You ever had a Malek shoulder rub?
Can't say I have. I did have a chat to him about handstands, though.
Book myself in for a treatment. Oh, Magix is still looking good. 16 frags for him already into our 13th. And they gather again towards the brown halls. Kenny will be smoked off. Nex is going to have a lot to do. They're lining it up now.
They're even gambling G2, so there's a third man over towards the B side.
So you smoke Z. Where's the rest going? You got Molotovs to be thrown out as well. Full exec. Let's see how this one shapes up. Hunter, Nexa, similar crossfire. And they start their swarm. Supportive flash from Kenny. SDY already draws blood. It's all onto Hunter. They're charging up the catwalk. Quick adjustment. So many, multiple targets. He's just overwhelmed. Spirit continue to prove why many couldn't call this game 50-50 in many people's eyes. The start seemed to point one way, the finish seems to point the other. Team Spirit making this half count.
Yeah, and I just think to be able to start with B executes and just keep hitting this B bomb site and punish them as they're stacking it, that has to be doing wonders for Team Spirit's confidence, and it has to be doing the exact opposite for G2. We're gambling correct. We're making the right calls.
You're in the right place.
We're in the right place.
Yeah.
We're not able to stop them. Right? We physically cannot stop them. They are running in this utility is perfect. Those Molotovs are taking out so many traditional lines of sight. The flashes are good. They're taking space.
Oh,
Nico's
no,
getting knifed by a teammate. You know, it's all going very, very well for G2.
I trusted you, Aminex.
Okay, that's a good start.
Yep, certainly.
Aggressive in pop, an AK-47.
And it's on a Kevlar vested player.
And the in-game leader's taken out of the equation early. So let's see how Team Spirit are able to juggle this one around. Sure, Chopper can still tell his troops where he needs them to be, but he can't put his body on the line the way he probably would if he was still with us in round number 14. Dropped a bit of utility early there, Spirit, so they're operating with about half. And now they need to work out where these pistols are lying. And that conditioning has actually meant that 3 players are over towards B once again from G2. So there's a timing, there's a gap right now. There's even space being taken towards Ivy.
Oh, Magix is typically there. I wonder if he has a little cursory glance. That was the bomb spotted. Mir's out all off. Wow, Mir was out all off. Past tense created by Nico's Deeg. 2 more out from main. SDY pop. Next, are working on that flash from flank. 2 bodies drop now. Really not been a great game for Mir. A crucial component in SDY's, Team Spirit's wins. He does take down Nico though, but it will have to be another one of their 2v4, 2v5 specials. Aminex finds it and so does Nexa. That's a big turnaround. They'll scavenge away at least 2 rifles.
Well, it was Hunter and Nico combining for those opening 2, and you're right, Mir is having a rough time of it. 1 kill, 2 assists, 12 deaths. Every time he seems to go for one of these peaks, he's just getting hammered. This was the opening kill. Chopper trying to get a bit cheeky on the ladder, gives up that AK. That applies pressure now to the remainder of his teammates, and as soon as Nico hits this one, well, looks like the wheels are falling off. Next with the final frag here in the back. Easy as you like it, and good stuff there for G2. Tied things up 7-7 now. An 8-7 half, not great on a map like Train. On the CT side, you're probably looking more for the 9-6, 10-5 scorelines. But there's Kenny, a good start to round number 15. Another opening kill, and Mir goes down. He finishes the first half with only 1 frag.
Oh. The SDY wanted to bounce down one a little. Regardless, keeps them on notice. G2 do have the lean in the right place. 3 towards A. Hunter responsible for this pop dog position, and more utility forced out early. Single smoke on G2 with 70 seconds to play.
Back to B, surprise, surprise for Chopper.
Bloody loves it. Flash for anyone close. Nexa will have heard that.
And it's drawn a rotation, so not only a clear, but a rotation forced.
And of course, that's the paranoia you're talking about. You see, you hear a flash brown holes, you've just lost all these B takes, you are going to rotate a player. You'd feel like a twat if you didn't.
Precisely, but Amanek's taking the game into his own hands here. Aggressive Ivy again. He's had an on and off battle with Magic, so him clearing that gives them info on where they need to be looking. You won't be expecting Ivy this late in the round.
The rotate will pay off, but will they be able to convert? Even keel at the moment. Util deployed. Chopper straight executed. Nexa had the angle.
It's all meant to be a fake as well, so that's stifled before it gets going. And look at this, Amanek trained on Pop.
Magix would have to hit one of his signature one-taps. They're out. Did enough damage to force him out. Kenny needs a shot here. Needs a shot here, and Magix is doing it again. I swear, why do I feel like they're going to do it all over again? Dexter and Magix with two 2v5s on T-side train so far. Now, a 3v3. Practically a walk in the park. Another body added to the list. Dexter wants to win this half, albeit by the smallest of margins. It's so far, so disconnected. Nexa's gone too. Magix just doesn't miss. And Dexter, pretty similar in that category, does go down to Hunter this time, but a 1v2 with that bomb half ticked, he's gonna have no time. And they have no more rounds. 8-7 on the half. Team Spirit turn it around. They lost the opening. It was 5-1. It ends 8-7. Capacity, we've seen Magix and Dexter delivering in a capacity that we know they're capable of, but to do so against this opponent at such a crucial juncture of your opening, trying to keep that win streak alive. They've won the last 5 games. They've stepped into the arena, locking themselves in from the play-ins to the main event as well with the spotless best of 1 and best of 3 conversion.
Oh, we're shredded onto Yard here. Quick down Pop.
He's missed it.
Smoked off, and away we go.
Dexter's still up there. There's lots of eyes on him. SDY, however, has tapped away at Nico. Magix has caught some flack. Unarmored. Could go down, but it seems like G2 are falling all over the shop. Can't hit a thing. Only 2 Ts remaining, and Glock's not the best weapon for this job. They got the plant, but that's surely all they've got.
Look at this flank.
Yeah, I mean, they've faked it. Maybe he's got enough time to do a bit of damage.
Chopper knows it's coming.
Yeah, just staring at him. Oh, hello.
Oh, well, look at that. To kick things off, Spirit with the pistol around here. Now, to be fair, they won the pistol in the first half, and then they lost the force by. So let's hold our tongue for a little bit, but it's good to see Mir finding some impact, right? He had a really rough half. Only found 1 kill in that first half. Straight away, well, he's got 3. So off the bat in the pistol round, finding 2 frags.
Oh, Chad, they're going for it. They're going for the, because they got the bomb down,
yes,
you either have everything, call the bells and whistles in the third, or you start dropping AKs for your comrades and you have yourselves actually a pretty damn respectable buy. Amanek is just a chocolate teapot with 2 flashbangs.
Well, you got a deagle there as well.
Oh, sorry.
So,
okay, yeah.
Maybe you can try and use that as a glass cannon AWP. But let's see. This is quite the buy.
It really has shaped up nicely for them. To be fair, though, look at the CTs. They did not skip any of the SMGs. They just went straight for the AUGs. 2 of them, M4, M4A1. There's a lot of rifles into our second round of Counter-Strike, Chad.
Yeah, and they're even able to upgrade that Kevlar into head armor, not taking too much damage on the pistol, so everything seems pretty good for both teams really going into the second round of play.
Intrigued to know how the standoff fares for Magic. We saw Amanek doing a pretty bang-up job of Ivy. Wasn't a crucial component of Spirit's T-side. I wonder if G2 will be using it differently.
Nico does have a full set of nades here and the biggest weapon, so we're going to keep our eyes on him as this one transpires. He might have to set his teammates up with the space and then come on through and clobber them with the AK, but all in all, it will be down to the duels. You pointed that out. So many rifles, so limited utility. It's all going to be out winning these fights. So as we got pressure on Ivy, very, very slow. They don't want to give away any sound cues here. It looks like they're trying to set up a B split. So the back alley will be the key for Nexa and Kenny S, and they might be able to get past Magix with his current passive position.
If there was a smoke. Kenny has one. Dead silence with 30 seconds. He's not smoking Magic's side. They'll be fighting him here. And the spray from Magix converts both of them.
Now they're going B.
It makes sense. Chopper's there to receive them. Got a lot to deal with, and long range, Dexter, Chopper all fill the feed. Only Nico now with that aforementioned hero AK. Far from heroic maneuvers for Nico. He's so trapped. Oh. Bit of damage into both. Trivial, though. Team Spirit find themselves double digits and just keeping that streak alive from the end of our first half.
Yeah, so relatively clean as well. Those rifles, that investment is going to be fantastic going forward because now it's just versus the Glocks. They don't get the SMGs to farm the cash. It's not really something which, is too much of a problem. You'd rather these rifles going forward anyway. And here's the double kill from Magix out the gate. So you could see that there was clear intent from G2. Hey, we know that they tend to play on top of this green train or behind this green train. Let's see if we can find a pick there and force the rotation. And actually, they were in the midst of forcing that rotation. It was just a little bit either too early or too late as they got caught off guard by Spirit standing, fragging hard. Now it's just these pistols. I don't expect... okay, I was going to say, I don't expect too much. And Mir, now he's getting his punishment back on Nico. Hey, we'll have that duel. Let's do it the other way around.
80 damage, just straight to the gut. Little top spin, Pokeball. And the rest?
Look at these orgs.
Yeah, I mean, that couldn't be any better of an angle for SDY to pocket himself with a chunk of change.
Oh, that's quite a nice feeling, isn't it? Just
$900. And Nico's Deagle finds nothing more than a tag.
Okay, well, the AKs can come out now. Maybe even the ult for Kenny. Bang on. He doesn't have any Kevlar, so he's glass cannon, but has a little bit of utility. Here's the highlights of SDY getting a couple of easy ones. Everyone's favorite kills in the game. Always against the Ecos. All right. 11-7 now. No AWP required because Team Spirit kept that one clean. So
glass cannon T-side AWP, like this is going to be a very telling round.
And it depends on how much faith they want to put into him because speaking to Nex the other day, he has to choose on who he wants to be the entryer. You know, is Nico going to do it? Is Hunter going to do it? They're going to send Kenny out. Interesting to see what they choose to do here on train. Lots of presence towards the box holes early. Lots of noise with it too. Utility, footsteps. And in response, utility out of Spirit. So smoke up, low ramp, nade through as well.
Look at Magix. He's pushing Ivy, or at least flirting with it. Nexa could not be any more passive, so we'll check in on that later. At the moment, bit of pop dog control being fought for. It does force the smoke out of SDY. Nades as well. Flashes, everything to try and hunt him down. Oh, he whiffs his nade. That gives Hunter some control.
I wonder if they'll retake this. This smoke is going to fade. If they get that information back, that molly is definitely going to help.
Yeah, they don't have the information though. A flash in, not willing to peek, so they don't have any confirmation as to whether there is a threat on this A site. That's enough to keep 3 players busy. I say that, look at Mir, he's actively seeking aggressive info main. Smokes it off, clears it out. Chopper is so alone. But he hears pins being pulled from spawn, so he's right to assume that they've got the pieces in the right place. This is a great fake from G2. Nexus selling it as best as he can.
Stopped it already. They can rotate B now.
Perhaps Nico can have that late lurk. No, he's gone too. Mir takes him down. G2's chances dwindling with every passing second, every passing frag. Kenny, glass cannon, don't forget, does find the first. It's Dexter gone. His rival AWP up, and another. Now, room to breathe, room to plant. Kenny would need to keep popping off in the same way. Remind Dexter how the OGs do it, not to beat. That's going to be another round for Team Spirit. And I will, if we could bring up the round recap when we have a moment during this diffuse, you'll see that slew of T-side rounds and how the momentum has completely shifted. We don't have, of course, for both halves, do we? The technology isn't there yet.
Not there yet. We're working on it. 2024.
I wanted to show you the bleed of those T rounds.
Yeah, it's been quite the consistent shot, hasn't it?
3, 6, 7, plus 4, 11. So like 11 of the last 15 rounds of play.
That's not a bad stat right there. And this was Mir basically taking the round into his own hands. I'll remind you again, and it's not because I'm picking on Mir, it's because I want to point out his impact. On the first half, 1 kill. On this half, well, he's already found a bunch. He has 7 frags now, so 6 in the second half alone, and he's been instrumental in locking down this team aim position. So as we continue forward in the gun rounds, we'll continue to monitor his impact on this one. But it's been a great showing from Magix alongside of Dexter. Those 2-on-5s really set the tempo for this game. And now a tactical timeout has been called. G2 talking through their options. Again, it's going to be another one of these buys where they don't quite have everything. Nico's purchased in with a Deagle, utility Kevlar. Hunter's onto a Galil. Aminek's actually gone all in with the AK. Nex is bought into a Galil as well, keeping around 1,500. Well, I say that 1,300, and Kenny's got a Tech 9. So this is more of a half-buy scenario from G2. They haven't shoved all in. They can get a couple of kills, get the bomb down, keep this one at least costly for Spirit. Might be name of the game as the scoreline 12-7. Feels like it is running away from them now. Counter nades over main. This is going to force the CTs forward to try and clear this out, make sure that there's nobody home. But Mia, again, straight into main. It's just the info.
It's all about the info. That's a bit of a sketchy spray from Chopper, and he's been punished for it. Amanek knife out as he charges towards the enemy's location.
Look at this!
Oh my god, Amanek! Straight through the Z-smoke. He takes some initiative and then some.
Well, that wasn't the MAC-10. We usually see him do
the pace, though.
And now he's hunting towards Ivy.
Yep, no, I mean, you do you, boo. Next to catching Mir, he is fully on the hunt already.
What a round.
Okay.
He gets stops. That's fine. What a play from Amanek. That opening kill did not let go of W, and now they're hunting.
Let go of W. I mean, he had such full faith they weren't going to disrespect the smoke. Dexter may lose his AWP here. A very unconvincing fake flash and death for Nico. I wonder if they're going to keep pushing the issue here.
I really want to take this AWP away.
I can't blame him. Dexter's an absolute criminal with this weapon. Oh! Okay, Hunter. Really doesn't like the Galil. Puts his life on the line in exchange for the M4, but he grabs it all the same. So let's just see this. First frag, ready for this moment. He just sees the smoke. Wait for it. Knife! And he's off.
So confident.
Look, he's still got his bloody knife out. SDY is not expecting a T to be walking out of that smoke.
Oh, that's a jump scare moment right there. I cannot believe he is carried through with that kind of a push. What a play from Amanek. And a necessary play. 12-8 now, a half buy from G2, getting it done.
I'll call that a glimmer of hope, though, Chad. I mean, this still feels like it's firmly in the court of Team Spirit.
They're going fast again, straight down.
Look at that. Okay, Chopper, you're going to have multiple targets.
He's got no idea they're behind him.
Turned, and Amanek actually gets the first. So much util now, they can dump, lock the CTs out.
These have to save. This is honestly rush B. That's the call. No joke. Sure, there's a couple of contingencies, a couple of protocols in place. Yeah, you be the fireman, you put out the molly, you keep charging.
Rush B, no stop.
Yeah, but that's what that is. They've just run straight into the site. They've capitalized on that space. Chopper had no idea how quick they were.
I mean, Chad, if Team Spirit are putting so much energy into getting early info on A, maybe a fast B is the play. That's the gap next to spot. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to get away with it for the rest of this half.
It's not as beautiful as the way that Spirit did it with the lovely execute and the perfectly placed Molotovs, but it's the same concept, right? Conditioning this B bomb site, making it so Yard has to play with 3 players from the get-go, forcing it to be a 2-3 setup. And when you do that, now more doors will open for G2 going forward. But this save from Spirit, it allows them to keep these guns up and have another buy round. Chopper can purchase himself or get dropped across. They've kept the 2 AWPs, one for Magix, one's for Dexter.
Okay, timeout called. That's actually their third. Just trying to piece this one back together again. It's a conversation that we were just having as well, probably. Like, look, they've identified that we are walking Ivy, we're walking main, we're contesting Pop, and they've just been hitting us with and punishing us with those fast Bs. Chopper's probably not going to be spending this entire half, or rather this entire next round, sitting there idle on B alone. That was enough of a warning by G2 and converting it into their 9s, chasing the double digits now, closing that gap.
They're only opting to go into this round with 2 kits as well, so that's an economical decision, right, going forward. They know that the 2, they can probably make this one work, but one is on Magix, who is an Orpus, so we'll have to wait and see how this one pans out. I'd be surprised to see G2 go for another fast B. It would be an audacious call to follow that up 3 times in a row here. What's the adjustment coming out of Spirit? Yeah, they're just going with the same setup. So the 1-4 early. They know it's unlikely that G2 continue just to gallivant down that low ramp.
Sometimes the timeout's enough. Don't change anything else. Just call the timeout to give the impression that it has been discussed.
This is the mind games of Counter-Strike though, right? Like, Nexa could just double down and say, well, let's go again, right? And Spirit are banking on the fact they don't do that.
Here goes Mir. I mean, same again. Nico is well aware that this boy wants info. Mir's been winning his duel out in the last 2 times they've met here on main. Magix plays Ivy on T side as well, so he's all too familiar with all the tricks in the Ivy playbook.
They've actually rotated a second man to B right now, so G2 have gotten their way. They've kept Team Spirit honest, and now they're lining up and execute. It's like 1 late Pop, 1 late Ivy, and 3 out main.
Oh, good info. They're both there, and Amanek swings out wide. It's Mir's double, though. You want impact frags. He's gonna get more impact than that. Tagged him. Can't finish him off. He's using the smoke. Perfectly safe. Well, can he check his close? Right, he just fully unloads his clip. Surely Mir doesn't punish.
He's still pushing.
Oh, and Mir gets another. He is popping off. Main is his. Train is his. 13 likely spirits. Hunter does rather have a little bit of a window. The bomb is miles away. There's no rush to plant, but yeah, no idea as to where SDY was. Gets him from Ivy. Mir again with the impact.
And now this is where it swings. This is where Spirit are actually the ones in control. It's like, okay, so now they just tried something that wasn't a B rush. Well, what's the chances they go back to a B rush? So if we see something more heavy towards that B box hole area of the map right now from Spirit, I wouldn't be too surprised, because when the only thing working for G2 is a hard B rush, it's difficult not to try and fall back on that crutch. But this is good. Mir didn't get shaken in that first half. 9 kills here in the second half alone, and we get back underway. AK's out, AWP for Kenny. And, well, it's not a B rush again, is it? Is it? At least they're feigning it, so they're making it scary. That's drawn a quick rotation from Dexter from Connector as the rotating player.
Okay.
Chopper's had to drop a lot of his nades here. HE early smoke as well. So that pressure is meaning, you know, he can't just do the jiggle. Means he actually has to throw something in case they do go for that rush again. And now they've set up with this high ramp.
It's been a while since we saw this setup.
Yeah, so for those playing at home, Dexter's got the deeper line. And Chopper, well, he can't be spotted. He can swing in as well if they start coming out low ramp and get behind them. It's quite the potent CT setup on the B bomb site. Okay, so G2, after that early presence, they focus back towards main here. Still have to be very concerned about pop control, have to be very concerned about main control. Smoke over towards Ivy from Hunter. Magic is actually going to drop back a bit off of that. So there is a gap towards Ivy. We can see nobody's home, but it's going to make Team Spirit look.
Look at Mir, though. Again with the power position. They have no idea. The silencer. He still doesn't know. They still don't know. The easiest third frag you'll ever find. Finally, Nico does issue the gag order, but damage is done. Bombs loose. Kenny and Nico up against 3. 30 seconds. Chopper, easy frag onto Kenny, and it's over already. Team Spirit looking fantastic. And Mir, what a resuscitation from him. He was dead silent in our first half, but the amount of impact he has had every time they consider the first letter of the alphabet. They're still like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Bomb train,
maybe.
Stop, behind the smokes.
Stopper. Main?
Oh, dear. Okay, well, 14-9 now. Timeout called from G2.
Why am I not using the M401? Because it's 20 bullets and I missed the first 15.
We're also not as good as Mir.
That's also another point.
Yeah.
I have seen multiple instances, though, in just casting the play-ins alone, where the A1 not having that silencer has genuinely made a huge impact into the amount of kills you can.
It was that overpass game we were doing with Fnatic the other day,
right.
And I think it was Yell who pushed
and JW just had no idea.
Looking everywhere with the AWP, looking a little bit silly.
Like, even for aggressive maneuvers like that overpass push or something we just saw from Mir, aggressive CT maneuvers, the silencer really can aid you if you are going for that element of surprise multi-kill.
Yeah, and in the chaos of all the smokes and flashes when people are going through their executes, even more deadly. So, yeah, look, I don't love it, but I'm glad that it's getting some use.
He's upgraded to an AK now. Definitely no complaints from Mir.
Is it the B rush? Surely it has to be. Okay, no.
I feel like we've spent the last 4 rounds saying...
Is it the B rush?
Is it? Is it the B rush? They are out. It is a rush. They are into the A site, and already Dexter caught off guard. This is a change. SDY not willing to let this go so easy. So low, though. And a quick finish from Kenny with the rifle. Such pace. Another frag fills the feed. G2 take the site by force. Oh. Far from over. Magic's popping off. Takes another head. Amanek's gone.
Has to go B. The bomb stuck connector.
Kenny's running. Won't be able to beat him to it.
Well, there's that silenced M4.
See if it can work any more magic. It's in the appropriate hands.
Next is going to be late here through Con. They don't even know that Magic's already slipped the net.
This is where you really have to be concerned if you're Kenny. He's staring at the right place, or he's intermittently checking both. I think he got the info.
Next is peeking. And
yeah, positioning confirms it. Drops off oil, though. This element of surprise could be enough to catch Kenny. Oh, okay. It's going to be Nexa to finish it off. Double digits, then G2 keeping the competition alive.
Okay.
I think a lot of you tuning in from around the world. We've got some of our favorite faces tuning in to see how Katowice kicks off. Flusher believes Spirit got this 2-0.
Oh, okay. That's big from Flusher. I think the type of Counter-Strike that Team Spirit are playing at the moment is difficult to stop, but it has been the pace of G2 that has been the avenue to success. 2 B rushes and now a fast split onto Yard through that pop dog position. They found success.
Pace has worked for G2.
Yeah, and they have the aimers for it, right? Getting out there and then being able to take those fights. And you can see how quickly they're swarming. Kenny didn't stop. It's not like they're playing the Counter-Strike where we get an opening and put the brakes on. They're getting the openings and they're continuing forward. They want to take Team Spirit out just in one foul swoop. So if they continue that pace, Team Spirit will start dumping more nades early, right? More contingency Molotovs. So let's drop a couple on pop. Let's throw those smokes down. Try and really slow that.
You know you've got a competitive game where in the first map, both teams have used all of their timeouts. I think Spirit has one left. G2 just used their last one. Every moment you could possibly have to piece together the puzzle that is Team Spirit's pick. Train. Mirage next. That was G2's choice. I swear, Chad, if you want to start by saying it's a B rush, we'll see what happens. They're leaving the bomb at spawn, so I do doubt that.
They're feigning it at the start of the rounds, right, with early utility. The smoke towards high ramp, the molly low ramp, the flashes, just to show that at least there's some control early. This time, same deal, early flash, early nades, just showing presence, and that's keeping that rotating player on a bit of a leash. You know, you can't go too far because at any moment we could strike onto this B site. And Chopper's aware. He's dropped an early smoke. The rotation from Dex is here as well. And Dexter, a player who, one that we want to see move around a lot, is actually being stifled by that conditioning.
I'm with you.
So he has to babysit a little bit more than he probably wants to.
Same setup we've seen work well in the past. This time it may actually be tested. You may get to see it in action because Kenny peeks in to Dexter. Clean, and then the swing. It couldn't be a better textbook example. Amanek wants to rip that one in half. He's taken off Chopper. And he has the bomb as well. That's been spotted. SDY rotates softly towards Z. Nexus out Ivy late. He could perhaps be caught by Magix, and he has. So now they were trying to pivot back to that. Mir's got this on the rotate. Hunter wasn't ready. It's going to be another frag for Amanek, but an ace clutch with 48 seconds does sound like a bit of a tall order.
Smoke's still up, so just about to fade now, and he is going out high ramp with that Kenny. AWP. Has to hit a bit of a banger here, but they're not even presenting their heads, so he should get the bomb down.
It's not what he's after though, Chad. Staring down the barrel of 14. Bomb plant ain't enough. Hunting for an additional frag. Dexter though manipulating and maneuvering in a prime position to punish. I think he can take him down as soon as Amanek gives him a shoulder. The rest coming from Z though. They don't use util. If he just hits that first shot, now he's got 2 jewels. Dexter doesn't miss. He really doesn't. Amanek's gone neat and tidy as now Spirit are presented a glorious opportunity. 6 map points on your map pick.
That would have been a huge round for G2 to win, right? They would have absolutely ruined Spirit's economy, assuming they didn't save any guns. And the fact that they saved those 2 ops and still pick up the round, here's the highlight. Getting out opt right there. It's just a tough angle to deal with. Worried about the high ramp. You're worried about, obviously, top of the oil train. Well, bit of an off angle there. And it was a flub from Mir. It felt like he should have had both quite easily. Dexter cleans up the mess. And it's just one more round now, and they've got the funds to do it. Chopper down to a Famis, so you can see it's not the best of buys. But they have everything else they need, all that utility. 3 players in main early, tucked on. Maybe this will be a bit more explosive out of G2, wanting to pounce and capitalize on some of these rotations, smoking off pop. The flashes are going to come over as well. Molotov from Mir, perfectly timed.
Good shooting on the green train as well. They catch a lot of flak. Oh, this just feels like a formality. 4 remain. A double for Mir, who's been colossal in the CT side. That's an important duel to win, but Dexter's quick to catch the trade on Nexa. Ivy under CT control. Backtracks and Z. For survival here. Hunter. And Kenny, yes, make it just Kenny. Far from easy with his weapon of choice. Smoke and Kit on Dexter. He's just going to be looking to close that gap as best he can. Smokes off Chopper's advance. Enables him to get through that. Oh, is he walking into it? And Kenny hits it. Suddenly becomes winnable for survival. Kenny gets the info. Dexter on bomb train. Does he plan to jump off? Yes. Confirms there's no one there. Dexter's mantled it. Hasn't touched it. And what a flick! Wrist breaker from Kenny to keep G2 in it.
Old versus new right there. The old boys still got it.
Yeah, but look what that's done. We're about to go all the way, Chaddy.
That's the cash-breaking round, right? The fact that they're able to do this late, Team Spirit are in such an awkward position. I think they have to go for, well, here's the options, right? If you're Team Spirit here, you can either just shove and go all in, go for a bit of a force by now, take a bit more of a save in the next round. They've actually opted just to go for the light pistol upgrades here, and there's that replay again from Kenny. What a shot and what a clutch. He's kept a minute, and now there's a chance for them to get this one even closer. Mac 10, Skalil, it's out and about.
Petar with quite the stat from HLTV says there's a 16-7 advantage in opening duels for G2, but they were losing 9-14 at the time.
Cheeky, cheeky.
That's just the tenacity you're seeing from Team Spirit. And of course, the 2v5s probably help. Thank you, Magix. Thank you, Dexter.
G2 are heading back towards B here. There's already 2 players. The rotation's coming they're going
to have 4 here, Chatty. Amanek, no slouch on that Mac 10.
Easily handled.
It's all you needed.
Oof.
Why is he so scary?
I don't know.
I don't want to play against next time.
It feels like every time he's taking a shot, it might land. It's a good feeling to have about a player.
It is, isn't it? We get that with Nico. We get that with a couple of names.
Yeah, the Simples, the Zywas.
Yeah. Maybe we got one in the making here in the server tonight. First game of his first Katowice main event. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, the gap does close just a little. Margin for error, of course, is null and void for G2 Esports.
So this will just be another partial investment right here from Team Spirit. This is what I was talking about, right? They had the option in the previous to go all in and maybe have a couple of extra gadgets and gizmos. This time around, they've found themselves in a position where the money's roughly around that 3.5K mark. So they can go for the deagles, they can go for the smokes. Light investment again here. Next round, the guns will be out, but this one is now close. We're into round 28, scoreline 15-12. And if G2 are able to keep their heads straight, they should be able to convert and grab their 13th round, and we might even be on for overtime in that case. Very tense moments. Just spread out in this default scenario again. Nico tasked with A main. And Hunter with pop. Chopper goes down. Trying to get a little bit cheeky through that smoke, and looks like G2 are gearing up, ready to head out of main with 4 of their forces. Or is it back towards B? Yeah, they've thought better of going out of main.
Mir and his main. Walking on through, gets all the info in the world, and Nico just gave up on holding it. So he has got the perfect time. He couldn't have caught a better timing here.
Such a cheeky beaver, isn't he? Look at this.
So,
footsteps heard.
Okay, Nico has finally...
Oh, he thought it was in main. If he thought it was in main, this still could be on.
It looks like he hasn't considered it. Oh. And Nico's going to be mad as hell.
Oh, no!
Mir!
Need 1 round.
It was an AK.
Need 1 round.
Could have been an AK.
Yeah.
Next up, maybe. We say every time you watch him, you feel like he's going to do something. He is capable of finding the shot. I think it was actually Magic's USP long range that finished that off, but... Oh, a disaster has struck. It could have been that power play. Certainly just the 1 frag, though. Nothing to get too remiss about.
Yeah, and they were only on pistols, but he is still going to feel like a bit of a tit if they lose this game, let me tell you.
Yeah, you know how I'm using a Malta interview I saw from the Renegades, and he was just talking about, I hate losing those 16-14s because you run through all those rounds where I could have thrown that flash, or if I just traded, if I just not pulled out my knife.
had a free kill there. It was an AK, and they were all trapped in box. Well, obviously, he didn't know that.
No, and Flush is watching, so he can relate. He knows exactly what it's like.
Going for the showmanship.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, it's a car crash happening. You can't look away. You're kind of just so glued to that moment. And Nico really almost flubbed that as Dexter tries to hold on to the Galil. Goes down, and there he is.
That's exactly the face I'd be pulling after that.
Oh.
Like you've just seen a puppy squeal.
Because he definitely heard footsteps, right? And those footsteps he heard, assuming it was main, it can be quite difficult to do.
The timing couldn't be any more comical. As soon as he pulls out the knife, Nico has a look. Hello? Oh, dear. Okay, a scratch to the head. We move on. It's fine.
Yeah, no one saw it. Don't worry, Mia.
No, we don't even have to talk about it. We don't even have to talk about it. But this is an important one. Round 29. They've got every bell and whistle they could desire. Still keeping it conservative in the kit department.
That's one way to put it. It's going to be a tall task, as Mia is normally the close main player.
Gets away with that.
Yeah, chunk down early. Lucky he has the orb. Oh, makes that look easy.
Graceful.
And here they go, back for a bit of main control.
You'll never guess what Mir's about to do.
I think he might be walking into main.
I think he might. Zoop. Hunter's smoke fades. Mir's already in. And holding pop from main, that takes conviction that there's no one home.
Yeah, and Dexter has to help Yard a little bit more because of the slow HP of Magic, so Chopper's going to be in with a bit of a rude shock here. Back up bomb training. Will he think of playing retake?
Depends how long they twiddle their thumbs and think about it.
Here comes the nades, so don't have too much time to twiddle those thumbs.
Not the perfect molly. Chopper has room to maneuver. In they go, down the speedway. They find Chopper cleanly, but they haven't. He's making them work for it.
Still no rotation.
Surely now there's going to be confirmation. They need to rotate. Look at Nexa backtracks. Jesus, late out Ivy.
Your Spirit go for this and they lose all their guns. They're in so much trouble for the final round of play here. Nexa might do exactly that.
Okay, so this is truly crucial. The decision-making from Chopper, and he has called it. Pull the ripcord, save.
But Nex has heard this as well. He can tell his teammates to start chasing, and the money, look, it's not great for G2, but at least send a couple of bodies at this. Try and take away an AWP, try and take away 2. You can do so much damage right now to Spirit and their economy.
How long have they got on that bomb? Not long.
15 seconds.
Okay, he is probably going to have contact with Degster. I wonder if he sees the barrel here when he turns Ivy. No, not now he moonwalks out. They regroup. Magic's, of course, tagged up to 16 from their double nades Ivy a long time ago. Just holding the perfect line.
Yeah, I had a nightmare scenario pictured for Spirit there next, getting the move on, trying to chase, taking 1 or 2 of those guns away. It would have been hugely detrimental. The fact they only lose Chopper, they save those guns. They can drop a couple across, make it work. Utility's good. They're no longer being shy with the defuse kits. 5 of them have been purchased on up here, and it's do or die. So Team Spirit, with the economy broken late, that's how the scoreline's gotten so close. But if they close it out here, all will be forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 2... What was first an 8-7 half. Now we sit at 7-7. 2 teams inseparable. Bursts of momentum.
They're going to nade Magics again here towards Ivy. Okay.
You fire off an AWP shot, want to make it clear that there could be an AWP behind the smoke. As soon as he does so, Kenny can evacuate.
Look how confident Nex was. He just had his both hands off the mouse, not worried about anybody pushing that smoke whatsoever. Barely takes any damage from that whatsoever, just down to 98.
Should be interesting to see how this one transpires. SDY with a counter incendiary, if you will.
Good levels of harassment. Hunter has been getting into pop quite often in these last string of rounds, so maybe something they want to stop. More nade damage up, still not landing, so they're not getting anything out of this Team Spirit.
It all comes down to this. You've played 29 rounds of Counter-Strike, and the next 55 seconds determine if your map is yours or not. Bitter pill to swallow is overtime when you've held this 15 for as long as they have.
Nex has been a real nuisance at Ivy. He hasn't found the impact, but constantly making them be aware of that position.
I mean, I think he's part and parcel of why there were so many late rotating on the previous round.
Is it a B fake or are they go? Okay, it's a B fake. It's going to be on yard. Oh, no one watching.
It's a huge find. SDY with a multi-kill. It was necessary. Mir is on green and a very precise headshot into Nico. Dexter onto Nexa. Kenny to save the day for G2. First found, needs a second, and not quite. Chopper's on the bomb train, jumps and Dexter's there. 16-14, I've got a massive smile on my face. And that's just the first map. Spirit, they take train, 16-14, baby.